What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Big Lou. Welcome back to the Steel City Muscle podcast. I know it's been quite a while since I've recorded, but like I've said before, I record when I feel like there's worthy content to record. So I'm bringing you, hopefully, with another banger, one that you guys enjoy, September 20th, 2022. And there's quite a few things to discuss, where I've been, what's been going on in my life. Some interesting topics, NFL season, hopefully with a little bit of motivation and some NFL talk. So let's get right into it. First off, where have I been? Okay. Like I said, I've been around, I've been going through a lot, ups and downs recently. Sometimes I feel like, if I'm not bringing anything to the table, there's no reason to record because I don't want my content to be watered down or to be BS. So obviously you got to live life to be able to talk about life. So I felt like I took the time to be able to live life a little bit, and now I'm going to bring back, with some more valuable information. So, let's get right back into it. Recently, the NFL season just started. Week 2, finished up. We're in week 3 now. My thoughts and feelings on that to off the bat, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I'm from Pittsburgh. Obviously, it's where I live. So I'm recording this podcast from Steel City. That's why it's called Steel City Muscle Podcast. And by the way, follow me on Instagram, 412 Steel City Muscle. We're on YouTube as well, 412 Steel City Muscle. You could check out the podcast, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And video podcast coming soon. Your boy finally learned how to record on video and to upload it with good quality. So those videos will be coming soon. I got people from all, different parts of the country that are going to be on the podcast. And it's going to be some great content, especially with the NFL season going on. It's a major topic that a lot of people talk about, especially if you're from Pittsburgh. But a lot of my friends, we discuss sports on a daily. So we're going to go from there. Another thing I want to talk about too, other content that we'll be getting into is I got a small, tight group of brothers that I'm cool with. And one thing that we talk about on the daily is grilling, cooking. We love to cook. We love to eat. I feel like if you love to eat, you should know how to cook. And we love sharing recipes amongst my group. So I'm going to start bringing some of that content to you guys. Cause we want feedback on recipes and, what's good equipment, what's good smokers, good grills, and spices and seasonings and such. So, always feel free to comment on the YouTube channel. Down in the comment section if you have any ideas. Also, you could, find me. You can email me as well at 412steelcitymuscle@gmail.com. You can also contact me there for fitness advice. I've always been a fitness coach, personal trainer, natural bodybuilder. So, let me be a vessel for the SCM Nation. If you don't know what that is, the Steel City Muscle Nation. That is what I created. I love the nation, because anybody who takes the time to reach out to me to ask me questions to help me improve and make better, put better content out there, I'm also going to be down for. So let's get back into the NFL season. Obviously, I'm going to talk about my Steelers. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm a ride or die Steelers fan. I'm not a bandwagon fan guy. That's not me. I'm a fan of certain players, obviously, but I'm more a fan of the team and more a fan of the sport first. And at the end of the day, I feel like when you make it on a professional level, or when you are a professional organization, you have a duty and responsibility to all year round put forth effort to make that team better. I find it baffling how you practice all the time. These players made it through college. They're the best of the best. And you still got a sorry offensive line like we got. It's insane. Now, I play football. So when I watch football on TV or I watch football live in person when I go to games, I'm able to dissect the game a little bit differently than most people. I see missed blocks. I see misdirect people in the wrong places at the wrong time. I see the type of block. It's not just blocking, it's how do you block? Did you block the outside shoulder? Were you able to turn the defender to create a hole in your gap space? Like I was able to do that, but I can see that. It's astonishing to me how such a storybook franchise like the Steelers, which to me, if you ask me, is the most prestigious organization in the league. And I'm not saying that just because I'm a fan. There's Steeler bars all over the country and in other countries. But to see that we didn't use that much draft capital to improve or increase depth in our line. But for execution purposes alone, like being somebody who was an ex-player, obviously I never made it to NFL level, but being an ex-player, I know for a fact that when you go over certain plays in practice and packages in practice, that you sit there and you rehearse that shit over and over and over again. And if coach doesn't like the execution of the play, they continue to make you practice and do the play over and over and over again. So if that be the case on a high school level, on a college level, on a semi-pro level, the NFL got to be worse because you already understand the nuances of playing football. You know your position. You've mastered your position to the point where you're making money off of it that puts you in the top 1% earners in the country. Like you're a pro at this. It's insane to me that if you're a guard or you're a tight end or a wide receiver, you don't know your assignments. You got to know a playbook. It's insane to me that our offensive line is that trash. You got an amazing, running back in Najee Harris, which I met the guy. He's a great dude. Cool guy. But he's a hard runner. This is a top tier back from Alabama. And we can't block for this guy to save our lives. And I'm only going to talk about what I feel like are our top two biggest concerns. Our defense is not the concern. Even if you lose a game like last week, to the Patriots, our defense was exhausted. You could tell by the third quarter. They were exhausted. Why? Because if you look at time of possession, we were getting destroyed by the Patriots. We were getting destroyed. You can't have 3 and out plays in the fourth quarter of an NFL game and expect to win that game. You can't do that. Like, if you think about it, the longest, and I mean like the worst amount of time that it takes for an NFL play to occur is 3 to 4 seconds. 3 to 4 seconds. So imagine if you go 3 and out. You only did 3 plays. You're talking about 12 to 14 seconds off the clock that the offense is on the field. And then the defense has to prepare to go back on. These guys are running full speed. They're hitting full speed. I mean, I'm sure they ran out of goddamn Gatorade on the sideline because they're crushing it and they got to go back out. The defense is exhausted. I'm sorry to say it. Mitchell Trubisky is not the answer. I was the first one to, say, hey, give him a shot. Maybe Chicago didn't have the talent and that hindered his ability. But you come to Pittsburgh and you got receiving core where you got a tight end that's arguably top 10 in the league. You got Johnson making crazy acrobatic catches that got hands. You got Pickens, who I've only seen this guy catch like 2-3 balls yet in the season. But in the preseason, we saw what he was capable of. Even with Mason Rudolph, who I don't like. And he's not being utilized. So Mitchell Trubisky has talent around him and he still can't succeed. And again, you got a good running back. There's no reason to be this terrible. It's an atrocity. It downright is. And it's disrespectful to the defense. And most people don't notice, if you never played football before, and if you think teammates don't go at it, they do. If you think teammates don't blame each other, they do. The offense sucks and they suck, and the defense is out there killing it. Oh, don't get it twisted. That defense is talking trash to that offense, especially in practice. Because who you think they practice against? I guarantee you our offense isn't moving the ball on our defense in practice. I can guarantee you that. So, and I've heard people say, oh, it's the offensive coordinator. Okay. And I'm not saying that's not a viable argument. It is. But it's only a viable argument if you also consider that if you have the right talent. The plays are irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's just like if I'm playing Madden. If I pick a play, I still got to go out and execute it. A play is just X's and O's. It's saying this is the play based off of the defense that we're seeing. This is what we want you to do. You still got to hope that the receivers run the right routes crisp. You still got to hope that the chemistry between the quarterback and the receivers running that crisp route, that the ball is thrown in the right area with the right timing that coordinates with the speed of that wide receiver. Same with the running play. You got to hope that, you could draw up a play on how to block and do a dive play or a sprint play or a wham or a off tackle run. If the guard pulls and he can't get to his block, that play can get busted. So you still got to have the talent. So it's kind of hard to blame the offensive coordinator if the talent isn't there. Mitchell Trubisky, okay? So those who don't know, if you've never played football before, I'm going to give you an example. If I'm running a play on offense and I have 3 wide receivers, okay? 3 wide receivers, that's 2 wide receivers and a tight end. Let's do that. 2 receivers and a tight end. That means you have 3 routes that are being run. The quarterback's job is to look at the defense and say which route has the most likeliness of being completed, because it should target a weak area of the defense. And once you identify that route, that's called the hot route. Okay. So that becomes read number 1. When I say read, that means you read through your progressions. You're reading the defense. You're saying, I have option A, option B, option C. Option A be the hot route. Option B be the second most likely receiver that's going to be open. And option C is the third likeliness. So every play, a quarterback has to go through those reads. He has to be able to read and see what's the hot route, see what's the secondary route. If that hot route isn't there, and the third read is more like, I hope if the first 2 fail, I hope it's open. Otherwise, we're throwing the ball away or we're going to go for a scramble. Mitchell Trubisky struggles with his reads. So the next time you watch a game, I want you to pay attention to that. Because there's a lot of times you'll see him either not make a throw or throw a ball and it gets batted down or it's incompleted. But what you're not doing is looking at the other receivers to see if they're open. There was I counted 6 plays last game where other receivers were open. He just didn't see the read. He only read the hot route. That was it. This is what makes the Tom Brady's, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning's of the world, even Jimmy Garoppolo. This is what makes these guys so talented. The Russell Wilsons, they go through the read progressions. So think about that from the perspective of, okay, what if we do a 5 wide receiver set? You got 5 routes. A quarterback needs to be able to step up to the offensive line, see what defense is being played against them, and identify the hot route. But also know you got 4 other routes available. There's no reason for an incompletion at that point. You got 5 options. He struggles with his reads. I think he has the best arm talent on our roster as far as quarterbacks available. But Mason Rudolph goes through his reads better. And I don't even like him. But he goes through his reads better. So that's just a little lesson in football for anybody. So the next time you watch football, make sure or that you kind of pay attention to that. Not just where did the ball go, is where did the ball not go. That's important. And for those of you who play Madden who know whenever you pick an offensive play, you know how many receivers you got. Because you do it on a video game. You look and see. They highlight the hot route for you. It's red. So you look for that receiver first. If he's not open, you look at the next guy. You look at the next guy. That's football, people. Other areas of the league, man, I got to say, man, the sleeper, right? There's two sleepers that are emerging in the league right now. And, one of them is a large market and one of them is a small market. The large market is the New York Giants, man. Big Blue. My goodness. God damn. Their defense is just all over the place and they're tenacious. I mean, they are all over the place. And what they remind me of, they actually remind me of I'm not going to say the old Steelers era, but the era with Ryan Clark, Troy Polamalu, Joey Porter, and Brett Kiesel and these guys. Because what they do is they don't, like I said, how a quarterback has to walk up to the offensive line and see and read a defense, cover 1, cover 2, cover 3, see where the linebackers are set up and see where the defensive line is set up. These guys shift. They move around. They disguise. It's called disguising coverages. So they'll look like they're in one coverage, and in the midst of the quarterback looking around, these guys are moving. That's how you confuse a quarterback. These quarterbacks are so intelligent nowadays. They've seen it all. They've seen cover 1 through cover 6. They've seen the 4-3, the 4-4, the 3-4, the quarter defense, the dime, and the nickel. They've seen it all. So now, when I'm noticing the talent behind a good defense is disguising what defense you're in and shifting to something else. Stack your safeties and then spread them in the cover 2 in the middle of the play. If you don't know what none of that means, just Google it. Google it. But the Giants defense is for real, y'all. So don't be surprised if you see them guys. And then we even want to talk about Saquon Barkley because we already know if that guy's healthy, if he's healthy, top 5 back in the league. Easily. Top 5. And he don't have a great offensive line. He doesn't. But what it does is his talent is so great. He's so explosive that his line only needs to open a hole for a brief second and the guy's gone. He hits the hole super fast. He's not like a Le'Veon Bell type back where Le'Veon Bell was so patient. He would get the ball and then sit there and wait to see what the offensive line was able to do to open up a hole. Saquon Barkley doesn't need to do that. The guy gets the ball and runs, period. Because he knows they don't have a dynamic quarterback. Daniel Jones is okay, and, he's an average at best. And he got wheels. He can run a little bit. But he doesn't have an elite arm by no stretch of the imagination. No stretch of the imagination. Now, my second dark horse, which is, I feel like, after week 2, I don't even think you can call him a dark horse anymore. Miami, my goodness. Now, when Tyreek Hill went to Miami and made the comment that Tua was, so accurate and so this and so that, everybody was like, oh, he's just saying that because that's his quarterback. He's just saying that because that's where he's at now. Well, we see what the hell this guy was talking about. Maybe Tua just wasn't provided the right tools. Maybe that's what it was. Because 6 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns, 2 receivers over 150 yards plus in the same damn game with multiple touchdowns. That's unheard of. That's insane. That is unheard of. And it wasn't like, some of them were big plays and some of them, because what they do, what I noticed if you watch their drives, it's not the big play that you got to watch. It's not the 75-yard touchdown pass. It's not that. It's the plays before it. Just like when I spoke about defense and you disguising a defense, but then really doing another defense, they almost kind of do that on offense. They kind of do that on offense. They'll start a drive and make you think they're going conservative. Run play, short pass, ding and dunk. 5 to 7 yard passes. Quick little in routes, in slants. And the next thing you know, bam, 75-yard touchdown. Because you think during that drive that they're going to run. You think they're just trying to get first downs. But forget they got the fastest man in the NFL. I mean, his nickname is called Cheetah. Come on now. There's no reason why the Ravens secondary should have Tyreek Hill wide open. I mean, wide open, not even contested. And when you rewatch the plays that he scored on, it's like they didn't even try. They didn't run with him. They didn't even attempt. I can see if they got just flat out burnt, he would run right past them across their face, and they wouldn't even chase him. And that's not what you're taught as a cornerback. That's not what you're taught as a safety. Corners will let a wide receiver go whenever they think they got safety help over the top. But that's not what happened. They didn't have safety help. They were running man and got burnt. So those are my two sleepers right now, but I feel like the league is evolving. It's still so offensive centric, which because of the rules, it does require that the skill level of the defenses is more precise, more on point. Technique has to be more flawless, which isn't fair to them, but it definitely does make the game safer, less aggressive, but it's still a barbaric sport, whatever. But whenever you do finally see a good defense like Buffalo, my goodness, it's more impressive because you're like, wow, you're shutting people down even when you have a disadvantage. From a rules perspective, you have a disadvantage, So that's it for sports. I'm looking forward to the game of the week this week. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers face Tom Brady and the Bucks. Obviously, we can talk about the suspension of Evans. I have a problem. I'm not a Tom Brady fan whatsoever. But I'll say this. I think he's top 2 most intelligent quarterbacks of all time. Him and Peyton Manning, to me, are the most intelligent quarterbacks of all time. Not the most talented, but the most intelligent. And I'll say this. He gets away with a lot of crap. Tom Brady gets away with a lot of shit. Okay? He started that fight. That whole fight was over him, about him, and he won't have near a penalty for it. Other people are getting fines. Lattimore getting fines. Evans getting suspension and fines. People are getting fines. It was the person who was about is getting nothing. And I think that's insane. That's insane. If you watch what Tom Brady did, he initiated the conversation with Lattimore talking trash, which talking trash isn't illegal. That's fine. But don't act like there's not going to be consequences to that. So Lattimore talks trash back. And people, Evans got so offended, he runs from damn near the sideline full speed ahead to go and shove somebody. Now you deserve to get your ass whooped at that point. But these guys know that's going to cost them money. So it didn't happen. That's fine. So regardless, during this game, I feel like Tom Brady actually hurt his team because now you don't have Evans. Godwin hasn't coming back yet. You got little Scotty Miller, who's a speedster, and he's a great dude. I mean, I don't think he got phenomenal hands, but he's serviceable. But I think that's going to be a much better game than what people think. Tampa Bay's defense is still, I think, elite, top 5 for sure. Green Bay's, I would say top 10, but more in that 5 to 10 range. They need to step it up. I think they need better safety help. They got decent corners, and their linebackers aren't, that great, but they are serviceable, but they need to get better. So I think it's going to be a good contest. It's going to be game of the week. I don't think it should be, but it is. But we'll see. So, those of you who know me in the city of Pittsburgh know I'm a security guard. I'm a bouncer on the weekends. It's my side hustle. A lot of things have changed recently. The main club that I worked at, Cosmo, which I love that place to death. Shout out to Danny and Frankie. Shout out to everybody that worked there. Bartenders, barbacks, security, everybody. We was a tight family. They're reinventing themselves. to provide a safer experience on the South Side. So I want everybody, if you're ever in the Pittsburgh area, come to the South Side, 17th and Carson. They will be changing their name soon. But nothing but love for them. And I hope they're listening to the podcast because, I'm deeply appreciative of the opportunity that they gave me. And we held it down in there, man. We held it down. It was a tight-knit group and truly going to be missed. And I think we provided an experience that was different than anywhere else on the South Side area. That, a lot of things happen on the outside or at other locations. And there's times we unjustly took the blame for it, or we got blamed for it, which was ridiculous. Because those of you who come to Cosmo, nothing happened in Cosmo. It happened outside of Cosmo, But I know Danny and Frankie, they'll bounce back twice as hard, so much better. So I wish everybody the best and hope everybody does well. I hope we all keep in touch going forward. So there's other opportunities being found out there. I got to find, obviously, to continue to grind and, work a secondary job, which is, I'm a grinder. I have to. I don't have a choice, and it's going to be on me to keep up the podcast, finding content, which I did find a lot of content in these nightclubs and stuff. So, typically prior to this episode, which is episode 13, by the way, for those who don't know, I usually give or bring up male-female discrepancies and relationship situations and that, were probably viewed as negative and stuff like that, but it's just real. I always tell people, don't get mad at the truth if it's true. If you don't like that it's true, then change the truth. But don't get mad at the person that delivers it. There's no different than like a news anchor. When there's a fire somewhere and they report it, or there's a car accident somewhere or a murder somewhere and they report it. You don't get mad at the news anchor for reporting it. They're reporting the news. If you're mad that a murder happened or a fire happened, then, be mad at that, not the anchor. So that's kind of how I view relationships. I feel like there's a big discourse between males and females as far as males understanding females and vice versa. And I feel like there's a lot of female representation, but not a lot of males. And one way to fix and improve the male to female connection is to speak on it. Know where we're flawed and then know how to fix it. So with that being said, maybe some of the topics I've could think of off the top of my head are a little bit more negative, but let's talk about the positive. Let's talk about the positive. And that means, having a genuine, connection. For so much negativity that's out there, whether it's created by social media or television, movies, video games, whatever, I feel like what gets lost in the shuffle are the benefits of relationships. And I mean relationships because we all engage in relationships and we all have them, whether they're friendships, whether they're family connections, family relationships, or spousal relationships. And there's two sides to each one of those relationships. There's either the desire to have them or the excuses to get rid of them. And you got to acknowledge both. So I feel like from a positive perspective, let's talk about the positive side of a friendship, of a relationship, and of a family relationship, with certain family members. Let's talk about the benefits of that. I feel like there's very few things in life that you get fulfillment from. There's very few. But whenever you discover, learn, and embrace the things that give you fulfillment, it's always been, I've always been curious as to why we don't chase those things. We don't chase those things when we are in a neutral spot in our life. Why not look for those things, try to discover them, recreate them, repair them, and chase them? Instead, a lot of people take easier routes and fall back and, choose to be, independent, They choose to be loners. They choose to be introverts. As if you have the ability to repair yourself. Some people do. You have ability to repair yourself to a certain level, but at some point in time, if you compare self-repair to fulfillment from a positive relationship, I don't think that they're on the same level. When you have a spouse that actually fulfills you on whatever level, financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, when you feel fulfilled, that level of positive emotions that you go through is insane. You can't self-create that. You can't. You can give yourself motivational speeches and say, hey, I'm going to be my best life. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, which sounds narcissistic. If you look up the definition of a narcissist, that's what it sounds like. And some people feel like it's a necessity to do that in order to feel completed or to feel healed. When healing, I'm sorry to say it, sometimes comes by circumstances of outside sources. So outside relationships with your friends. It's very, very hard to go about your day sad when you have an amazing relationship with your child, when you have an amazing relationship with your spouse, when you have an amazing relationship with your coworkers, your job, your friends, whatever. It's very, very difficult when you wake up and you say, oh, you know what? I'm happy with how I look. I'm in shape. I take care of myself. I have energy. I feel great. This is the best I've ever looked, the best I've ever felt. It's very, very hard to be sad and depressed then in those moments. So why don't we chase those things? Improving the quality of the relationships and the connections of the things that we have available to us. I challenge everybody to do that. Say, what do I have in my life? What relationships? Because if you identify your relationships, you got two choices. Get rid of them or improve them. That's it. It's the only choices you got. Say, what friends do I really have? Like friends, not associates, not acquaintances. Friends. Like I recently went on my Facebook and I had over 430 something people on my Facebook. I said, if I'm going to be honest with myself, if I got rid of anyone who I haven't directly spoken to or has commented on my page in the last 6 months, how many people would remain? Shockingly, it's under 40. Under 40. So I had over 390 people who were irrelevant in my life. I got rid of them. If you could take that same, I don't want to say coldness, but numbness, and apply that to everywhere else in your life, your friendships and everything else, relationship, everything. Get rid of what's irrelevant. Get rid of what's not beneficial to not just you. People, see, that's the problem. A lot of people look at it like, oh, is this beneficial to me? No. You would need, the better question is it beneficial to our connection? You have a friendship. Is it beneficial to the friendship? Not just you as a beneficiary, because that's not fair. There's give and take to every relationship. So as far as a union, as friends or your spouse, as a union, is what current status is existing, is that beneficial to the union? If the answer is no, what are you going to do about it? You got to make the decision to improve or get rid of it, period. Same with family members. We all got family members. We love our families, and that's great. But we all got family members. You like, man, this motherfucker is one more episode away from being out my life. And you don't got to do it harshly, negatively. You don't got to do it that way. All you do is fall back. Fall back from that person. Keep your distance. Or embrace. Say, you know what? We're better than this. I know we are. We grew up together. We did this. We did that. I'm going to improve it. But make the decision is my point. That's my point. Make the decision. So this week on the podcast, I'm going to try to do another one by the end of the week. If not, Next week for sure. I got y'all. But that's my advice for the week. Sit back, analyze your life, analyze your relationships, and then make a decision. Is this beneficial to the connection that I allow to be in my life? And if not, get rid of it. Or put in the energy to make it improve. And then, because I guarantee you, if you put in the energy to make it improve and it actually does improve, the fulfillment that comes from that is priceless. But also, getting rid of it and the burden in which it caused and stress in your life, after that comes a feeling of relief. So in turn, it's positive. So I challenge everybody to do that. Enjoy the football season, man, because it ain't that long. It ain't that long, y'all. It's just not. It's not that long, you know. On a serious note, there's something I want to, personally, I've been going through some ups and downs mentally and emotionally. And I sit back, I listen to this podcast. Every podcast that I do, I still listen to it, to make sure that hopefully I'm articulating my points well. I want feedback from you guys. Email me, comment, positive or negative. I don't care. That's the only way it's going to make me better. Because if whatever you say is positive, I got to go back and keep continuing to do that. If it's negative, it's going to show me what I need to work on to improve. So give me that feedback, guys. Like I said, try to self-improve on a daily, motivate yourself, and go after the things that make you feel positive. Because you got to remember, setbacks are there for a reason. Nobody who's made anything of themselves didn't have a story or setbacks. Nobody. So humble yourself and say, who am I to think that I'm exempt from experiences? Embrace the experiences and then self-improve and then go from there, man. Because life, you only get one crack at it, man. That's it. You get one. So you owe it to yourself to milk everything you can out of life. Treat life like it's a sponge and you're wringing the water out of that sponge. Get every drop out of it to make sure the quality of every drop that comes out of it is the best. It is the best. And then I want to give a physical challenge to you guys. I want to give you a physical challenge. And it's going to be a new segment that I want to start on every week, man. What did you do to make yourself healthier? What did you do? Are you obese? Are you not obese? Are you somebody who needs to lose a couple pounds? Are you somebody that just wants to not even lose weight, but tighten up your skin? Are you somebody who, you want to take care of your hair better? You want to prove a talent? You're singing, playing an instrument. You want to improve on your talking? Do you want to improve on communicating better with other people? What did you do to make yourself? Because that's a part of health too. Mental health. There's mental health and physical health. I would love to hear back from people. What did you do this week to make yourself better? What did you do? So right now, currently, I'm on a journey. I'm on a keto diet. I started no carbs, no sugars for as long as I can. I'm going to test it out. I started out 222 pounds. I'm currently sitting at 217. My soreness has increased. My skin has tightened. I feel better, but less energetic. And that's just a conversion of when you cut carbs and increase your fats. That's a process that you go through, which I'm only expecting that to happen for about 2 or 3 weeks. I'm week 2 right now. That's my journey. That's what I'm on right now to improve myself. I want to hear what you guys got to say on what did you do this week to help yourself improve? Did you make more money? Did you do your hair better? Did you meal prep? Did you lose a couple pounds? Shoot, did you gain some weight? Were you looking to gain weight and put on a couple pounds? Did you communicate your emotions better with your spouse or with your friends? Did you stand up for yourself and hold somebody accountable for the mistreatment that they gave towards you? What did you do to improve your health mentally or physically better? I challenge you guys. You know, I'm going to have guests coming on soon. My brother Ray will be back. My best friend and my brother Bam will be on soon. Hope 9 times out of 10 through video and many random guests. Guys, again, Instagram, 412 steelcitymuscle. My email is 412steelcitymuscle@gmail.com. Hit me up with fitness questions, diet questions. If you just want to shoot the shit, talk about something we talked about on, the podcast or something you would like for me to discuss going forward about life, and let's just help each other grow as a community. Again, shout out to Danny and Frankie for, giving a man like me an opportunity to protect an environment that, they called their business. I will be at other places. I don't know, when or how, but we'll make it happen, and I'll keep you guys posted. Enjoy Thursday Night Football and the next upcoming Sunday. Shout out to my beautiful daughter. And it's your boy Big Lou. And I'm about to roll out on you guys. And I can't wait for the next episode. Episode 13, SCM Nation. We out.